I made a video that made about 100,000. The video had about close to maybe 200,000 views, but I made over $20,000 through that one affiliate program, through that one video. But it was very simple. Just sat in front of a window, filmed the video, basically reviewed a product, talked about it, let the viewer know that if they wanted to check it out, they click the link in the description. That video kept getting views over a few years, and it made over $20,000 just through the affiliate program.
Okay, guys, we got Sean back on the show. It's been a couple years, my friend. You're experiencing a lot of growth right now, so thanks for coming on. I know you're very busy.
Sean, grateful to be here, man. Thanks for having me back.
I think media's been taking off over 30 plus W-2s now. You said 10 plus contractors.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, multi-million-dollar budget, trying to figure out how to lead, and CEO and content creator. So, navigating.
Yeah, you wear a lot of hats. You're still all in on YouTube though? Is that your main focus?
Love YouTube. Obsessed. Yeah, all in on long form on YouTube, a little bit of short form, and multiple channels, multiple content creators. So a couple guys doing a lot of tech content so they can cover in-depth cameras and the best tools, software, Nate, Craig, and then I'm focused heavily on video podcasting myself, and then distribution across platforms too. We're obsessed with video. So we love Instagram Reels and, Facebook Reels and all this stuff.
Yeah, I just saw an article this morning, how YouTube's really eating the podcast market share right now.
Yeah, YouTube is by far number one in the podcast space, way bigger than Spotify and Apple. I think YouTube has the attention, and it's a lot of people consume their podcast in video format, but then YouTube Music, it's going to distribute your podcast there as well. It's pretty wild. Most people don't think of YouTube as a podcasting platform, but it is the leader.
I watch most of my shows. If I'm not driving, I'll watch podcasts on YouTube almost every time.
Yeah, and I'm a YouTube Premium user, so even if I'm not watching them, I'll turn them on YouTube and then just listen to the audio passively.
Yeah, they really took over though, because I think Apple used to be the leader in Spotify. Now YouTube's.
And those are huge platforms. And I mean, the powerful thing about podcasting, anybody on the fence thinking about starting one, is the distribution in both formats, because you get to leverage multiple different platforms.
Right. And so many short form comes from it too.
Yep.
I just love it. And it's a really good ROI. It's not too expensive once you get the setup, like the studio setup.
Yep.
Just editing costs, I guess.
Yeah.
So I recommend people start it. I know it's saturated, but it all depends on how you're going to use it, I guess, too.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest themes right now for anyone that wants to start a podcast or a YouTube channel, is feeling like competition. Am I too late? Is it too saturated? And I don't think it is if you adapt, innovate in your creative. I think that competition is highest for low effort content. That lazy content doesn't work anymore if you just kind of dabble in it. But if you're willing to just learn a few skills, invest a little bit time, even if it's still a side hustle, you can do well, but it takes more intentionality and strategy.
Right. So when you say lazy content, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think, let's talk for podcasting, for example. A lot of people just think, okay, if I put a couple mics down, get a guest, talk to them for an hour, upload it on YouTube, that deserves views.
Mm-hmm.
That is the wrong perspective. If you're not thoughtful about your guests, thoughtful about how you're going to position them, thoughtful about the hook, the order of the questions, not just the conversation, but maybe how you edit it later,
right,
the packaging of the title, the thumbnail. So a lot of people feel entitled to views without actually just working on some of these fundamentals. I don't want to make it seem like it's out of reach. What's interesting about life, if you just put in, a little bit of extra effort, you can have exponential results. There's like real math that it's like if you read 5 books on a topic, you're in the top 10% of humans in terms of expertise on that topic.
That's
cool. You read like another 10 books and you're in like the top 1% of humans on the earth in expertise on that topic. But most people that jump into content, podcasting, they haven't studied. They haven't thought about mastery, best practices. And so the opposite approach is if you actually are like, how am I going to bring some unique value to the podcast space? How am I going to find a unique angle? Do some audience research. Think about things like branding and positioning. Think about doing the opposite. If people are doing a lot of 1 to 2 to 3 hour conversations, maybe you have an optimized show that's 24 minutes and has some segments and is really designed. You're thoughtful about what you're doing, identifying gaps in the market. And so you can still win if you have more rigor and more strategy in your approach.
Love all of that. And that resonates with me so deeply because I started the show somewhat late, 2 years ago. You were one of my first guests. And I didn't want to compete on long form at first because there were so many really good podcasts. So I did 30-minute episodes. And I knew I had to separate myself. So I went all in on editing too, especially on the short form. and I hired US based editors over overseas. So I paid more, but I was able to get way more views and scale. So I reinvested most of my profits back into editing early on.
Yeah, super smart. And that's, I mean, whether that is learning to edit better yourself, perhaps getting a, online jobs.ph editor or, some kind of a freelancer to edit. AI tools can help a little bit now. Or if you invest more, business owners, entrepreneurs, I think there's like maybe I've seen this perspective a lot. We help a lot of business owners, CEOs, a lot of service providers, real estate professionals. And sometimes real estate professionals will like get connected to some of our coaching and our programs, and they'll start YouTube and they'll be shooting their videos and they'll be editing their own videos. And I was doing a coaching call with one guy and I was like, do you like fix the things that break in the houses that you manage? He goes, no. I'm like, are you painting and like furnishing the houses? He's like, no. He's like, I delegate all that stuff. I'm like, then why aren't you delegating these things when it comes to YouTube? So side hustlers, you might need to just bootstrap and learn all these skills yourself. But what was interesting is this guy had money, but he sort of had like this limited thinking in terms of investing into content. So I think you made a really smart play. You just invested more than others to give yourself an edge. And I would never give into the mentality for someone's like, well, that's not, it takes money to make money. I don't think so. If you got time, you could put in the blood, sweat, and tears to get some momentum. But yeah, if you invest more, then you're going to get better returns.
Yeah, I went all in on editing because I think, especially with trials, like you
Yeah.
can really post a lot per day now.
Yeah,
and
we're
test a lot of stuff.
yeah, we're doing yeah, I know you got to do it manually, but we have a social media manager, so he does like 4 to 8. And
Exactly.
crazy stuff has been happening with trial reels. What's also interesting is, again, most of us can't compete with top 1% of podcasts. But if you look at this kind of gives a picture of how the game is changing and the bar is being raised. If you look at Diary of a CEO,
Yeah.
definitely a top 1% podcast. They a lot of times will film 10 camera angles. So it gives them so much variety to choose emotions, choose which shot looks best, the whole experience. They will split test 100 thumbnails,
Jeez.
3 different faces, 30 different phrases, and they will oftentimes film for 3 hours, but the edit will be an hour and 45. And so they'll really think about, and then of course, it's not even just a hook, it's a trailer. There's a trailer at the beginning. What is going to hold the audience retention? A research team helping with the questions and like the order of the questions and what are we going to lead with? What's the packaging? Of course, thumbnail, title, all of that stuff. And then even Steven like developing his interview skills and trying to create those emotive moments.
Yep.
So it's like those little details. And I know how that sounds, because then someone goes, oh, there's no hope for me, when I think about that. Well, on the long tail, there's a lot of hope. I mean, there's episodes are pulling 1 million views to 3 million views. That's just what I see on YouTube. That's like stupid. Like the chance to find your 1,000 true fans, the chance to like carve out a niche audience and do a side hustle, it's there. But just thinking about, it's kind of like shifting from an amateur mindset to a pro mindset. Famous book called Turning Pro, and just starting to imitate what a pro would do. A pro has the best nutrition, the best workout routines. They're actually going to practice. They're doing the reps. They are getting coaching. And pros just function different than amateurs. And really that just starts with a simple mindset shift that I'm going to stop dabbling and I'm going to start dominating and turn pro.
Yeah. 1,000 true fans. That's relatable for a lot of people. And you could build probably a 6-figure business off 1,000 true fans.
Yeah. The math is $100 a year, 1,000 true fans, and you have a whole year to earn that money per fan. That's $100,000.
Yeah. What are some monetization strategies you're recommending people that have maybe a fan base of that size?
Yeah. The fastest path to making money with social media is to have your own offer. And so, if we focus on service providers, which is not really the content creator mentality, but you'd call that like a high margin business. I was just talking to my friend Neil Dingra here in Vegas, who's a loan officer and built with social media, he was able to grow his loan business.
Yeah.
Now, he would talk about getting 80 views on a video, but if it led to one transaction, it could be thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. So that's going to be your you need 10 true fans if they're $10,000 each to earn 6 figures on social media. So it's kind of like the size of the vehicle. I think what's interesting is if you had some kind of a $100 offer, info products, courses, like they kind of get a bad rap. How's AI disrupting it? But
shout out to today's sponsor, Quince. As the weather cools, I'm swapping in the pieces that actually gets the job done, that are warm, durable, and built to last. Quince delivers every time with wardrobe staples that'll carry you through the season. They have fall staples that you'll actually want to wear, like the 100% Mongolian cashmere for just $60. They also got classic fit denim and real leather and wool outerwear that looks sharp and holds up. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middleman to deliver premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. They've really become a go-to across the board. You guys know how I love linen and how I've talked about it on previous episodes. I picked up some linen pants and they feel incredible. The quality is definitely noticeable compared to other brands. Layer up this fall with pieces that feel as good as they look. Go to quince.com/DSH for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. They're also available in Canada too.
it also is a great thing if you have something truly valuable. And that's like a kind of a lower ticket type of an education offer. It'd be harder to produce some kind of SaaS, but these days with AI, you might do micro SaaS of some kind of an AI offering. That's a little bit sophisticated. You also could do services of some kind if you just want to freelance, work from home. But I think if you go to a lot of what I recommend for creators to focus on, I really love affiliate marketing. That's how I originally was built a six-figure income, but it takes a lot more viewership. And here's what I mean. Because of my background in video, cameras, lenses, lighting, video production, I started to do tech reviews. To this day, that's what Think Media is. And I learned how to rank videos on YouTube, meaning that when somebody would search for a question about what's the best camera for YouTube, or should I get the newer LED lights or the GVM LED lights, I'd have a video comparing the two. And then I would have an affiliate link in the description. And if somebody clicks my affiliate link, I'd make anywhere from 4%, sometimes as much as 10%. I was able to get to $100,000 a year as a solo creator, making videos, posting those online. But, my channel did at that time grew to about 20,000. It's about 20,000 subscribers, about 16,000 subscribers. And I was able to get to 100K just in affiliate marketing, a little bit of YouTube ad revenue. But from ranking videos, people are searching things, they're watching my videos, they're clicking my links, they're purchasing tech products. The problem with that is if, let's say you started a channel that was about like anti-aging, you're talking about skincare and makeup and whatnot. If it's not like high end, or it's also not as high volume or as high intent, I think those numbers wouldn't be as reachable. You might need a different vehicle. So it depends what you're doing. If you had a website reviewing software and AI tools, a lot of AI tools software, they have incredible affiliate programs. My friend Pat Flynn, early on, I don't know what the numbers are these days, but you take a ConvertKit, which is an email CRM now called Kit. I want to say he got to a place where his reoccurring monthly revenue was like $30,000 as an affiliate.
Wow.
Because he would educate people how to build email lists, how to use the software, lots of videos and blogs and content. And then people would just be signing up for the software based off of like his education. He's going to walk them through it. But that's some real money. So I think studying affiliate marketing, thinking about how that might fit for you. But it's really not one size fits all in the creator economy. It's about reverse engineering. What's your approach going to be? Is it more entertainment? Is it going to be brand deals and sponsorships? Do you need a ton of views and YouTube ad revenue can pay really well? Or is it going to be a much more niche audience? And are you going to find a vehicle like being a real estate agent, a loan officer, maybe network marketing or something, and really focus in on a few true fans? Because if you will, the LTV, the lifetime value, is higher, and your strategic content is leading into that monetization opportunity.
I think the biggest thing, whether it's affiliate or your own product, is alignment also, because you see creators pushing stuff they don't care about or resonate with too.
100%. I think that gets into building an actual brand and a brand that has trust, because you could just shill a product for short-term money, but you're losing trust in the process. And I think what helped me was I had the experience in video production, and I just got online and told the truth.
Right.
So I would just talk about, and like, yeah, I mean, this is a budget light kit. You get what you pay for, but the thing's $100. I'm in love with it. Like it's going to deliver the same result that these high-end studio lights would, but it's accessible to everybody. And I mean, it's kind of flimsy, but you're going to set it up at your house and never move it. So who cares if the stand is so that's what it is. Like, You're just describing what it is, you're being honest, and over time, you're building your brand. That is a huge mistake people make, 'cause I think they go for short-term money instead of long-term brand, because you're maybe trying to pay the bills or just get things working. I don't blame people necessarily because, early on, you're trying to monetize, you're
Yeah.
trying to but thinking we always make wiser decisions when we don't just base it on, like, the next few minutes, but we think about the next few years or even
Yeah,
decades.
100%. You mentioned AI a few times now. I'm curious how you're using it. Are you using it for your thumbnails, your titles, your video descriptions?
Yeah, so I use AI every day, and I use AI in so many ways. What's amazing about ChatGPT is the fact that it truly gets to know you.
Mm,
It has memories. So I use AI for business coaching,
mm,
like help me process issues because you could just jump into the conversation and ChatGPT knows what's going on in your business, maybe knows who works for the business. And I use audio prompts a lot. So I just talk and
mm.
then, look at the responses and keep the conversation going. And I've had projects and GPTs that I've built out for personal health and biohacking. There's been breakthroughs where you can upload your blood work,
Yeah.
you can then upload your labs, as well as verbally where pain is or what your symptoms are. And people are being cured and finding out medical issues that doctors haven't been able to find for over a decade. AI
Wow.
is finding it in 10 minutes.
That's crazy.
And then they go in and say, "What about this?" And they're like, "You're right." And then they'll do a surgery. There's a lot of stories of this. So I'm using AI for a lot of things. When I narrow down to content, ideation is a big one. Like, so just coming up with topics themselves before you ever design a thumbnail or come up with a title. The most important thing is the topic.
Mm,
Like, what's the big idea? What's the topic of the video? Another way you could say that is the angle of the video. Like for example, I just had on Chris Ducker, a friend of mine. He just wrote a book called Long Haul Leader, which is
mm.
about like not burning out, lasting in the long haul. Now, here's my thought. Like I've studied YouTube so much. I'm like, burnout does all right, but especially in my niche, like it's kind of played out. I don't know if we could go that direction. So I'm like, what other angles, does that are his expertise? Well, he's also his expert on personal brand. Okay, personal branding. He's also an expert on entrepreneurship. Okay, well, my channel though is more about YouTube. So should I go on entrepreneurship? This is all in before filming. I'm thinking about the angles, the topic. What's like the big idea of the episode that'll actually get views?
Mm.
I also wanted to help him out and have it lead to his book, which like your personal brand will for sure fail if you die. So, kind of jokey, but like long haul leader not burning out is important. So we led there, but where I started was actually what are the new rules for personal branding and, going into 2026 and complete framework because he had all of that. So this was me sitting down and what I might do is copy a lot of text and just drop it into LLM, like get some resources from him, like throw it in there, Claude or ChatGPT, copy someone's website, screenshot their videos, download the transcripts of his videos
Yeah.
to learn quickly what some of his frameworks are, throw those in, then start talking back and forth like, hey, let's brainstorm some angles. Then let's brainstorm some titles.
Mm.
Then then I'm like, okay, and I'll brainstorm 4 or 5 to 10 titles. And I know what direction I'm going, but I could use those later. Doesn't mean it's gonna be the final title, but I know I could use those later. And then I order the questions. In this case, it's a video podcast, and I'm going to have the interview support basically a concept and a title that I've predetermined going into the interview. That could all be pivoted, editing, and the hook later. But what I've also found is that if you just do a little bit more upfront, and by the way, this sounds, I'm sure, like a lot to the average person, but I'm able to do this. If I only had 10 minutes to prepare, I could do this whole process in 10 minutes.
Wow.
So it's like, shoot, I got to film in 10 minutes. All right, cool. Let me just get some stuff. It's not gonna be as good as if I had 30, but I
Yeah.
could, 10 with AI, you could do this really quickly. This is actually kind of a part of, we have a program called Video Ranking Academy, and there's 7 steps. And the first 2 steps in our proprietary process and framework
Mhm.
are reverse engineer and research. So these are the 2 steps I'm talking about. Step 3 is record.
Mm.
So in reverse engineer and research, this is the activities and habits and routines that I'm doing first, and then we get into recording later. And so I've reverse engineered angles, topics, his expertise, taking him to a place where he really has authority, maybe some good stories on stuff. Of course, still going into it with curiosity for the conversation. And then even some research, some keyword research still going into 2026. Like
Still works?
still keyword research because people still search for things.
Okay.
So it's things are less SEO based in a way, but these days, my friend Neil Patel said it's not search engine optimization, it's search everywhere optimization. Because the language you use and the keyword phrases, they're still topics. Like if somebody wants to know what's the best red light therapy, that is a keyword phrase. And people are asking ChatGPT that, and videos can show up. Like they can show up in AI. So like knowing SEO, it still matters, but there's no way it's going to get found if you're not fiercely clear on what is the search term or the variations of that search term.
Right.
You know, I've been like researching a lot of stuff on narcissism, interestingly enough. And so then I started learning about DSM-5, narcissism, covert narcissism, borderline personality disorder, all this different stuff. Well, those are keywords. And those are also whole segments of different people's lives that have been affected by those things. And so going into, let's say, the research, like what angle do we want to take it? Those things are actually oftentimes come clustered together, but maybe what's underserved is more like borderline versus, and so really having mastery of your topic. I call this your keyword universe. And here's like a free trick for listeners. Take your niche and go to ChatGPT or your favorite AI and ask them to, here's the prompt. You'd say, hey, ChatGPT, what are the keywords and keyword phrases and keyword variations related to my core industry and topic? One of the words you'd say are, what are the adjacent keywords and phrases? And one of the things you could call this is, I want to build my keyword universe. I'll give you an example. So one of my coaching clients, Anthony, is got a roofing company in Snohomish County, Asset Roofing, crushing it in roofing and starting to help other roofers, but contractors and construction individuals build their companies, because he can help guys that are especially doing like 1 or 2 or 3 million, like really scale. He's about to hit like 12 plus. And so the thing that's interesting though, is as he's moving into content, he's like, okay, what are people searching for? Even if that's not as much how YouTube works, the term still matters, even if it's going to be suggested in the algorithm. So it's not that when they type this out, but what's their intent? What are they looking for? So on the one hand, it's like, okay, roofers, that's sort of a bucket that's part of his keyword universe. Another one would be would be construction workers. Another ones would be contractors. And so you go on down the list, and by the time you build out your keyword universe, there's probably going to be 30 super relevant terms, another 30 that would be interesting to play in, and then probably 100, depending on what industry you're in. These are like little angles on it. Which way, and then it's sort of an extension of what would the problem specifically be that people are trying to solve for.
Right.
You know, so it's just kind of like layers of depth. And then as a result, we got that's a little bit gangster. Like we went kind of deep there. It's a little bit advanced, but it's like, then you take that all the way back to just reverse engineer research. That then would become a part of your process. Doing all of that in AI so much greater informs the content you're about to film, gives you another level of strategy. And now you're finding, you know, angles to cut through the noise in the sea of sameness that's online right now.
Yeah. I love that you put filming number 3, by the way, because a lot of people think that's number 1 or number 2. Maybe some people prep, but they don't do the first thing you said, which is reverse engineer.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do that.
Right.
But that's like the most important part, I think.
Yeah, I've heard it called pre-validation, like pre-validating the idea before you even film it. Because you know, too, you invest money in creating content. If you're going to sit down to film, it's going to take energy, time, research. And if you don't pre-validate the idea, then you potentially, it's maybe you have or haven't wasted the money, but you're just risking it more. Content's always going to be a risk in the sense of like, you don't know what's going to hit necessarily, and you thought this would, but this other one did. But what's amazing is I don't know that people realize you can pre-validate. You almost can predict, you can predict virality. You have a lot of friends, I have a lot of friends that have mastered virality.
Yeah.
They print viral videos. We, at Think Media, we print ranked videos.
Right.
We rank videos every day and ranked video is a little bit different. Search-based is not viral, but we post videos that in YouTube scoring are like 10 out of 10. It looks like it failed.
Mm.
It's just, because especially based on our subscriber base, it's actually in this case very niche. It's not broad appeal, but it's a very niche thing. And then that video sits there and it gets views for the next 6 months. A lot of times we see videos pop around day 175, maybe a little over 200 days. And then they just start climbing, and then they climb for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Mm.
And then when those videos are connected to affiliate marketing, because they just talk about a specific product or
Right.
solve a specific problem, then you have actually just created a passive income asset for your business.
Mm.
You have true passive income. It's funny. I've heard people say passive income doesn't exist. They're wrong.
I've heard that too.
It's like, I promise you, I will show you. Now, what I will say is usually those people trying to cut a social media clip are good-hearted and trying to speak against people that are kind of like fake gurus,
Yeah.
pushing, overhyping lazy passive income. It's building up the skill set to rank videos and build a YouTube channel and put in the time. I think a lot of people that are experiencing real passive income understand that a lot of upfront work went into creating assets that print residual income later. Anyone who's built a real estate portfolio had to start from scratch. And you're like, did you do it for free? It's like, no, like now I'm living off it. So I wouldn't overhype it, but passive income is totally real. And YouTube is legitimately leveraged because it's a search engine, because has such a massive audience, because even YouTube videos are being indexed and ranked with key moments and ranked on Google search and being distributed in so many different places. You can make a video once and that video can get you views and make you money for not just weeks, not just months, but for years to come.
Yeah. What's the most you've seen someone make off one video?
Well, I mean, in terms of like, I could talk about my personal results. I think maybe my highest paying YouTube videos around $40,000,
Wow.
maybe $40 to $60,000 from YouTube ad revenue. That's just ad revenue.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So a couple million views. Now, the big thing to know about how much YouTube pays you, though, is RPM. And that's revenue per 1,000 views is essentially what the term means. And what happens, especially in a niche like ours, if you look at somebody and they're like, whoa, that dude's getting 10 million views a video on YouTube Shorts, respect, that's massive, but they might make a couple grand off 10 million views. I might make a couple grand off 500,000 views on long form, because if you're in what's going to pay you more per views is being in industries that advertisers want to pay more for. Serious audiences, older audiences, business audiences. Real estate pays more, tech pays more.
Health too, right?
Health, medical. And it's just this idea too. Think about what are advertisers willing to pay for if they were selling financial products to baby boomers? A lot.
Right.
If they could get leads that are baby boomers that want to invest a couple $1 million at 1.5% fee, they're going to pay a lot to acquire that customer. And then what is a business going to pay to acquire a customer for fast fashion for average cart value of $33 from targeting Gen Z? Just less. It just costs different. So the type of content you put out there can command much higher RPMs. And I'm kind of in the middle with our content. Like we get really good numbers. So yeah, I mean, maybe $40,000 to $60,000. It's sometimes hard to track the affiliate marketing. I remember one time I talked about the best greens juice powder. I know you like biohacking stuff.
Yep.
This was years ago. If I could get fresh green juice, I would mix this green powder with water, to stay healthy, learn about it from my friend, and realize they didn't just have an affiliate program, but the program had continuity. So it's kind of like a higher priced product, direct to consumer. And to get a bottle of the stuff was maybe like $60 or something. But if you subscribed, I also, because you go direct through their affiliate program, Amazon will pay you 4% directly. They paid me 30%. And then if someone subscribed, I got paid every month in perpetuity. And if they stayed for years, then I earned that income. So I made a video that made about 100,000, the video had about close to maybe 200,000 views. It only made about $1,000 in YouTube ad revenue, but I made over $20,000 through that one affiliate program, through that one video.
Wow.
So not my own product. I made one YouTube video, ranked it in search, talking about a product that I personally loved, used, and would recommend to my friends, neighbors. And did it in the way that I've learned over the last, 10 plus years on YouTube. So, I mean, it was structured, but it was very simple. Just sat in front of a window, filmed the video, basically reviewed a product, talked about it, let the viewer know that if they wanted to check it out, they could click the link in the description. And then that was over a couple years, but that video kept getting views over a few years, and it made over $20,000 just through the affiliate program. Probably about 23,000 total combined with ad revenue.
That's
one
impressive.
video. And that's on the high end, but that's what I've been obsessed with really for the last decade on YouTube. Because it's kind of like Morpheus told Neo in the Matrix. He's like, nobody can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, shoot, I can't unsee this, bro. Like I can see through like the YouTube algorithm. Like if you rank videos and connect them to income streams, especially the cool thing about affiliate marketing is it's not your responsibility to do shipping or returns or customer service.
Right.
So at some point in the sophistication of the creator economy, you probably should create your own offer, some business model, but that's going to make your business more complex. You now essentially have customer service. You have quality control. If you're ethical, you want to take care of people. You want to keep your product updated. So the nice thing, the leverage of just being able to talk about stuff, yes, in a way it pays less, but if you get good at ranking videos, then you put out a passive income earning asset that is truly making money for you, and you don't have to worry about any of the details after that. You just collect checks.
I've met a decent amount of people making affiliate money off TikTok Shop, like 6-7 figures. I wonder if YouTube's going to implement something like that down the road.
Yeah, they have YouTube shopping, but nothing is coming close to TikTok Shop. People are going crazy on that. Yeah, YouTube shopping is YouTube's platform integrated affiliate program. So you can sign up, qualify once you're a part of the partner program, and Target, Walmart, niche brands, clothing. I want to say there's probably over 100,000 retailers, a lot of different retailers. You now have access to all of them, and you can put carousels, essentially, like product shelves underneath your video. Products are clickable in the video. The videos, they're clickable on YouTube Shorts, but also long form. So YouTube shopping is a force to be reckoned with, but it hasn't picked up anywhere close to the momentum of TikTok Shop.
Yeah, they crushed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I know Instagram might be trying to copy that, but I don't see anyone even close to TikTok Shop.
Yep.
Are you big on Instagram? That's my biggest platform.
Yeah, I like Instagram. I think it's my favorite platform just to consume, engage, DM.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of repurposed content, like similar to how you chop up clips. We have some of that happening, but I will also make native reels. And when I sit down and really architect a video intentionally, we've had some pretty good results on Instagram.
Yeah, it's my favorite for networking.
Yeah.
Like for getting guests, getting sponsors.
And just connecting with people, getting to see what people are doing and stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Instagram. But YouTube's going to be my main focus right now. Have you looked into debates at all?
Go on. What do you mean?
Like, I feel like that's an untapped category right now. I just started moderating some, and they're getting probably 20 times the viewership as my normal podcast interviews.
So isn't Jubilee a debate?
Yeah, they do a lot of like 1-on-20 debates.
Yeah.
But my thing would be mainly just one-on-ones, I think, to start.
Okay.
I don't have the bandwidth to fit 20 people in here.
Understood. So you'd be the third, but it would be one-on-one. You bring in
I'd
two
be
different
moderating,
people.
yeah.
That's a genius idea.
It's an untapped category, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I just posted our first 3, and they got like 100. First one got 300K on YouTube. For me, that's really good.
What was the topic?
It was Israel versus Palestine.
Okay.
And then I did, second one was numerology versus atheist or something. Got like 100K.
So you are going to curate 2 experts.
2 experts.
Get their buy-in. They're always coming physically. Schedule it.
Yep.
Film it.
Yeah. I think that's...
What have you learned about that so far? Keeping it good faith, like good vibes. You try to throw, some bombs in there, get them debating.
Yeah, I want to keep it civil. I don't want it to get physical ever, obviously. I don't want it to get like too heated, but...
Well, that'll be when your show turns into the Jerry Springer show.
Yeah. They just canceled, did you see they canceled, what's his name? Fuck. One of the OGs in podcasting. Brown hair.
They canceled him, meaning like the mob did?
No, his show got canceled.
Why
am I blanking out? SiriusXM.
Oh, okay.
$90 million deal. He was getting paid $90 million a year from SiriusXM.
Jeez.
Damn, I can't believe I'm blanking out on the name.
Not like, I mean, all I'm thinking about is like Howard Stern or something.
Howard Stern.
Oh, he got canceled?
Yeah. So his show just got axed. $90 million a year he was getting paid.
Wow.
That's a lot, right?
I guess clearly they didn't have the ROI though.
It wasn't there anymore, yeah.
Yeah. for being unserious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's got opportunities.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
he'll be
he'll
fine.
go independent. Obviously, he should also probably be fine if he has a few investments, but that's a decent annual income. Yeah, he could go independent, just take off.
Yeah. That's where I'm at now. I am looking into the network route. Have you ever looked into that?
Yeah. Have you found any good ones?
Like starting my own, I meant, I guess. But
Understood.
yeah, obviously there's the behemoths like Sirius, Spotify. There's a few big ones, but
Yeah, I think I wouldn't call myself an expert. I have friends who have networks. Some have done it in the faith space, like church leadership networks and
yeah.
things like that. I think, yeah, it's a cool idea. Trying to think about what is the business model. I think what is interesting about this is it's been wild to study kind of the creator economy and media over the years and look at a model like BuzzFeed or something like that, or some of these different. I'm in no way, number one, I wouldn't consider myself even an expert here or trying to talk you in or out of anything. But, you know, a lot of these companies have been going bankrupt.
Really?
Didn't Vox go bankrupt? Like these media companies.
That wouldn't surprise me. I know BuzzFeed had some issues.
Yeah, they had issues, had to restructure. So I think what could be interesting is this idea. Like we've been in the journey of trying to figure out the personality thing.
Yeah.
Like the idea of having other creators and personalities. And I know a couple years ago, I was like, this just sounds awesome. What could go wrong? I'm like, oh, Patrick Bet-David, he's cool. He's got other personalities coming on. He's building this thing. Oh, look at Daily Wire. Look how they're doing it. Oh, Ben and Candace. Oh, they're just getting along. Everyone's happy. And then, fast forward a year or two and you just see that time takes place and you're like, oh, Ben and Candace aren't getting along anymore. And then Brett Cooper and then Jeremy's like stuff's coming out and if I just sit here neutrally as an observer, I'm like, oh, okay, people are going to be people. What is that? What does it look like to do that well? What are the lessons? You never necessarily know everything that's happening behind the story. But I guess that's my thought as I kind of approach it. And knowing some networks is that sometimes there's maybe what's the quality control for the show?
Right.
Is there really on the long tail? Because you're a force to be reckoned with. A-list, B-list, C-list is what's the mix? And I don't know. It'd be interesting to look inside of like Barstool Sports. How many shows do they have?
They're not even profitable.
So
they're not profitable. Daily Wire struggling right now. So you are right. There are a lot of networks experiencing.
So
issues.
that sort of like confirms my feeling that was like, so who's actually like really crushing the business model?
Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Yeah. His network's doing well. There's a few others doing really
but then you ask yourself, he's his own everything.
I think a majority of the money's on the back end for him.
But I mean, books, Financial Peace University, the financial providers.
So you need a product tied to the network to make it work, I think.
And he has an empire tied to the network. And he is in a whole class of his own.
Yeah, I think if it's just off views, it wouldn't work. It's not enough.
Which it seems what people are trying to do. They off views and advertising.
Right.
And trying to like and the feast and famine of that. Did you see the guy who like did a bunch of fraud? Theo Vaughn came out about it.
Theo Vaughn.
So Theo Vaughn came out.
I think I saw this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan Schaub got screwed over too, right?
And from a guy who started a network and they all,
Right. That was an ad sponsorship network. They would bring deals to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. He ran away with millions.
Yep. And so that's fascinating too at like Theo Vaughn level.
Yeah. No, that happens, man. It's a wild, wild west, the podcast space, because it's all this new money. It's a very new industry, to be honest. Maybe 20 years.
I think it's ripe for innovation, though, because you look at these different media models and you look at Dave and look at the lessons and you look at what's happening. It taps into the YouTube thing of MCNs.
Yeah.
Like I've been going to VidCon for so many years, and I don't know what year VidCon. I mean, I started YouTube in 2007 originally from my church.
Wow.
It's 2 years after YouTube started. So then that means I've been on YouTube 18 years. Which is wild.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to be on YouTube in 2 decades, 2 years from now, just to be like true OG of just observing the space and getting to watch things happen. And I want to say VidCon is probably 15 years old now, or maybe a little older. And there was a whole era where MCNs were similar to networks for YouTube channels. Machinima.
I remember that.
Maker Studios. Maker, I believe, was bought by Disney. And just different, like that's a whole category, and it'd actually be interesting. We make some good guests for this show.
MCN guys,
guests like just OG YouTube talk.
Yeah,
like lessons from, there's a whole era where you ever, Shay Carl.
Yeah,
he had some drama.
I remember him,
but he was like one of the investors in Maker, like that whole boom. So if you're on the industry floor at VidCon, and you're just talking to people, just talking about the reels, behind the scenes and how in some cases an MCN had, a top couple of guys are paying all the bills. This is like record labels,
Mhm.
are bringing in all the revenue, but then you have other creators and drama behind the scenes. But I think it's just part of it. I think a lot of that it sounds like a theme that's consistent in media. So probably the smartest thing to do is to like get a ton of wisdom
Yeah.
and like what are like the red flags and yellow flags? What are some things that I could do differently? But I think it is ripe for innovation because the space is insane.
Yeah.
Numbers, Goldman Sachs said the creator economy is going to double between now and 2027. In terms of the total addressable market, the TAM, from about a $250 billion industry to a $500 billion industry, how much money is in the system? So networks make sense and like scale makes a lot of sense, but how do you do that with wisdom?
Right.
And then how do you do it that's sustainable? I think what happened is a lot of people built stuff on bubbles. They built it when ads were a certain thing. To your point, Dave is like more resilient because he has a tribe and other products and the long tail. But if you build it on the bubble of ads, there's so much feast or famine in the creator
Too
economy.
risky, yeah. Because then there's always a period where sponsors back out when
Mhm.
there's a controversial video on Twitch or something.
Yep.
Something like that could happen. So if you rely only on sponsorship money, it's too risky.
Yep.
But yeah, I need to study why MCNs failed before I go the network route. But the gap I see in the market is there's really talented podcasters, but they just don't have the business savviness, I think, finding the good editors, finding brands to work with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But they're really good at getting viewership.
Would you start an agency?
I heard them agencies are stressful.
Yep. Yeah. Like it's work.
Yeah.
And
My whole thing is like, I want to be happy with what I'm doing.
yeah.
I know I could probably make some money with agencies, but do I want to deal with 50 other people's problems with
Yeah.
their businesses?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How do you define happiness?
Do I enjoy the work I'm doing?
How many hours a week? How many hours a week do you want to work?
That to me doesn't actually matter. Like right now, I probably work 70, 80 hours, but I never get burnt out because I'm
'Cause you love it.
fulfilled. Yeah. I saw Stephen Bartlett.
So if you had if you were dealing with like headaches and agency work and whatnot, you either don't know that you would hate it or you already know you'd hate it.
I don't think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like you and I have a lot of agency friends and they just have nightmare stories of,
Yeah,
of
that's right.
clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have not full control, but we have more control.
The word I'd say is freedom. I think actually one of the words I'd sell for personally is freedom.
Right.
Like the freedom to have choices,
Exactly.
freedom to do the work you want to do, freedom to say yes or no to a brand, freedom to make whatever video you want to do next, freedom to interview whoever you want to interview.
Exactly. And with the agency stuff, you could do everything you say you're going to do and they'll still be unhappy.
Yeah.
So I'll
True.
pass on that for now.
So then how would you help these individuals who need to do editing, just more on education, helping them like find and build their own editors?
My strategy was to sign them for maybe like, I would start small, put them on payroll for a month in exchange for X amount of episodes. I would handle all the editing and we would split the sponsorship revenue or the money generated
So
from
you
the
go
show.
boutique.
Yeah, I would start small. I'm not going to go in guns blazing because I
Yeah.
think that's risky. But there's a few people in Vegas I think I could get for like 3 to 5K a month and we can see if it works, if there's an ROI on that.
Yeah, got you.
You know?
You don't want to build the Daily Wire.
Not yet. And we'll see if they're still in business in a few years. It's looking bad for them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, dude, this has been fun. Where can people learn from you, get your courses and everything?
Yeah, I think one thing we and thank you so much for having me on, and shout out to the community if you're still here. I updated my book. It's called YouTube Secrets. Wrote it with my friend Benji. The second edition's out, and we are giving it away free if people just cover shipping. So at ytsecrets.com, stands for YouTube, ytsecrets.com, you can grab the book for like $7. That's cover shipping, and I'll ship it to you. And then Sean Cannell on social media. So Sean Cannell, Minds with YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube. And then on YouTube, I suppose, if you love listening to podcasts, we've got a podcast called the Think Media Podcast. If you say, man, I want to get into this YouTube thing, 2 episodes a week, super focused, helping you start and grow a profitable YouTube channel.
Check them out, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yep.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.